The ancient Stoics believed that wisdom reveals itself not just in what we do, but in what we choose not to say. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once wrote that the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Today, we'll explore 7 phrases that truly intelligent people, guided by Stoic principles, never allow to escape their lips. These aren't just words, they're windows into the soul, revealing whether someone possesses genuine wisdom or merely the appearance of it. Thing number 1. It's not my fault. An intelligent man never says, "It's not my fault," because he understands the Stoic principle of extreme ownership. Epictetus taught that we are responsible not for what happens to us, but for how we respond to what happens to us. When you constantly deflect blame, you're essentially saying, "I have no power over my circumstances." But the Stoics knew better. They understood that while you cannot control external events, you always control your choices, your effort, and your response. Even when external factors contribute to a problem, a wise person asks, "What could I have done differently? How can I prevent this in the future? What is my role in the solution?" Blaming others is the language of victims. Taking responsibility is the language of leaders. Thing number 2. I don't have time. The phrase, "I don't have time," reveals a fundamental misunderstanding of priorities. Seneca, who managed the affairs of an empire, wrote extensively about time being our most precious resource. He never said he didn't have time. Instead, he said he chose not to prioritize certain things. An intelligent person knows that saying, "I don't have time," is really saying, "This isn't important enough to me." We all have the same 24 hours. The difference lies in how we choose to invest them. When you say you don't have time for exercise, learning, or meaningful relationships, you're revealing your true values. The Stoic response is honest priority management. I'm choosing to focus my time elsewhere. Or, let me evaluate if this aligns with my principles and goals. Thing number 3. That's just how I am. "That's just how I am" is perhaps the most unstoic phrase imaginable. The entire philosophy is built on the premise that human beings can change, grow, and improve through conscious effort and rational thinking. Marcus Aurelius constantly worked on self-improvement, writing in his personal journal about his flaws and how to overcome them. Epictetus transformed from a slave to one of history's greatest teachers. These men understood that character is not fixed. It's forged through daily choices and deliberate practice. When someone says, "That's just how I am," they're essentially giving up on themselves. They're choosing comfort over growth, stagnation over progress. An intelligent person instead says, "This is how I've been, but I'm working to become better." Thing number 4. Life isn't fair. Complaining that life isn't fair reveals a childish understanding of existence. The Stoics understood that the universe operates according to natural laws, not human concepts of fairness. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that expecting life to be fair is like expecting a fig tree to produce roses. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people. Rain falls on the just and unjust alike. This isn't unfairness. It's simply reality. An intelligent person doesn't waste energy lamenting cosmic injustice. Instead, they focus on what they can control, their own actions, choices, and responses. The Stoic mindset asks, given that this is the situation I'm in, what's the wisest way forward? This is infinitely more productive than complaining about fairness. Thing number 5. I could never do that. The phrase, I could never do that, is often a preemptive excuse for not trying. It reveals a fixed mindset that the Stoics would have rejected entirely. Epictetus taught that our limitations are primarily mental constructs, not absolute realities. Think about what you could never do. Public speaking, starting a business, learning a new skill, running a marathon. In most cases, I could never really means I'm afraid to try, or I don't want to do the work required. An intelligent person, guided by Stoic principles, instead says, I haven't developed that capability yet, or that would require me to grow in ways I'm not currently prepared for. This keeps the door open for future growth and maintains what the Stoics called the discipline of desire, the wisdom to distinguish between what's truly impossible and what's merely difficult. Thing number 6. You made me feel. You made me feel angry. You made me upset. You made me happy. These phrases all reveal a fundamental misunderstanding of emotional responsibility. The Stoics taught that no one can make you feel anything without your permission. Epictetus was crystal clear on this point. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Your emotions are your responsibility. When you say someone made you feel a certain way, you're giving away your power and making yourself a victim of external circumstances. An intelligent person takes ownership of their emotional life. Instead of, you made me angry, they say, I felt angry when that happened. Instead of, you hurt my feelings, they say, I was hurt by that comment. This subtle shift in language represents a massive shift in personal power and emotional maturity. Thing number 7. I should have. Endless regret. While reflection is valuable, endless regret about past decisions is the enemy of wisdom. The phrase, I should have, when used repeatedly, reveals someone trapped in the past, unable to move forward constructively. The Stoics practiced what they called the view from above, seeing their lives from a cosmic perspective where individual mistakes become learning opportunities rather than sources of eternal regret. Marcus Aurelius wrote about learning from errors without being crushed by them. An intelligent person acknowledges mistakes but doesn't dwell in regret. Instead of, I should have taken that job, they say, that experience taught me what I value in career decisions. Instead of, I should have invested differently, they say, now I understand more about risk and can make better decisions going forward. The power of conscious speech. What makes these 7 phrases so revealing is that they demonstrate either a victim mindset or a refusal to take responsibility for one's life. The Stoics understood that language shapes thought and thought shapes action. When you speak like a victim, you think like a victim, and you act like a victim. Conversely, when you speak with ownership, wisdom, and personal responsibility, you begin to embody those qualities. Your words become tools for building the life and character you desire, rather than excuses for staying stuck where you are. Closing inspiration. The ancient Stoics didn't just practice philosophy in schools and books. They lived it in their daily speech and actions. They understood that true intelligence isn't about having all the answers, but about asking better questions and taking responsibility for your role in creating the life you want. Every time you catch yourself about to say one of these 7 phrases, you have an opportunity to choose wisdom over weakness, growth over stagnation, responsibility over blame. Your words reveal your character, and your character determines your destiny. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Start with your words and watch how your entire life begins to transform. I share timeless wisdom like this every week. Subscribe to keep growing.